line. So no surprises. I think against teams like that, if you can score early, it changes the complex of the game. But they didn't, and Manchester United held on, and there was no real clear-cut chances. And it's not the end of the world, certainly for Liverpool. I mean, we just saw the league table. It's looking quite good at the moment. 3 teams really challenging at the top, and it's a good point for Manchester United. So I think fans around the world won't be too disappointed.
Okay, so that is it. It is just the 5th 0-0 in the Premier League all season, and the first since the beginning of October. The Premier League weekend that began with that win for Spurs, 2 points dropped for City on Saturday, Chelsea winning Newcastle and Everton too. Today, Arsenal have won, Villa have won, West Ham have won, and Liverpool and Manchester United have drawn, as we've just seen, 0-0. So as we've reiterated too, Arsenal lead the way by 1 single point ahead of Liverpool and Aston Villa, who are locked on 38 points. Then the champions, Manchester City. United on 28 points, a point behind Newcastle, but still 6 off the top 4. 3 newly promoted teams in the bottom 3. Forest then 4th from bottom, and Everton suddenly 7 clear of safety, despite the 10-point deduction.
Well, Scott, well done for a variety of reasons. It felt like it was stacked against you coming here today, but what do you think Manchester United showed this afternoon?
Yeah, big time. I think for start, we've got a number of injuries which don't help the squad, and obviously the rhythm of playing a regular team and stuff like that. But we knew it was going to be tough today coming here, and obviously we had to stay calm and stick together. And we had moments in the game where we had chances and we could have hurt them. And obviously for us, we're a little bit disappointed that we can't come here and make it more of a game and have more opportunities and more shots on goal. But as I say, I'm sure the boys will be pleased in there not to lose the game, but most definitely not happy that we didn't win.
Did it feel maybe the first 5-10 minutes like it was going to be a really long afternoon, and then gradually you grew into it?
Yeah, it's always a hot start when you come here. We know that numerous times that we've been. Obviously, we couldn't forget about last year in terms of the way that game went as well. But as I say, the boys did everything today that they possibly could have. We've got a lot of young players coming into the squad, and they conducted themselves amazingly well. And I'm proud to obviously have led them out today. And it's a shame that we've drawn the game.
Yeah, you said proud. What did it mean to be Manchester United captain? I think first time in the Premier League, from what you were saying off camera.
Yeah, do you know what? It's the biggest honour of my career, captain this football club. Once and then twice. There's not really much else I can say other than that. I've been a young boy. I know the system, the process to come through, and it's one of the biggest honours of my career. And I'm thankful to be in this position, and I want to go for more.
I mean, what does it show about you? I think everyone knows you're a strong character, but in the summer it looked like you might be moved on to pastures new. Now here you are stood with that armband on.
You never know in football. There's always just as long as I've got a clear mind and I do my best whenever I go on the football pitch with no excuses that come with it. I don't really care what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks about me. I just want to play well for this football club, and that's final.
Your idea at the coin toss to spin them around and make them attack the Kop first half? What's the thinking?
Yeah, mix it up a bit. See what they like at the start of the game. Obviously, we knew that they were going to come up and start fast. But as you say, it'll be a disappointed dressing room that we couldn't have had more opportunities that we did similar in the second half. But as you say, you'll take a point.
But all those negatives that were potentially there going into this, out of Europe, the injury list, the form in the Premier League, how did you it's almost like you gathered all that together and turned it into a positive?
Yeah, I mean, it's been extremely difficult, and I think everyone knows that the pressure at this football club is massive, and it takes balls to come out and play for this football club relentlessly every single week with no injuries and no shying away from playing. And that's what everyone in that dressing room who was there today wants to do. And the ones who are injured are desperate to come back and perform and play a part in that, which is the most pleasing thing. But as you say, we can build on this.
Yeah, I heard you the other day, I think it was before Bayern, being asked about the dressing room, previous dressing rooms, but a team only plays like that if they're together, don't they? If they're behind the manager, don't they?
Of course, I said that in other interviews that we're behind the manager, and that's first and foremost. There's not really much else to say. We're here to perform for this football club, and he's a great manager and a great man manager that can lead us to good things, and I feel like this could be a building block as well.
Yeah, so if this is the first step, what's the next one, Scott?
To take one game at a time and to keep trying to win football games, and it's as simple as that. You can't get too carried away with anything in football because reality can bite you really quick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, proud day to go to Anfield. What did you learn about some of them today then to get a form of result under the circumstances?
Yeah, I thought they did well. I think they stood up to everything Liverpool threw at them, really. I felt watching the game, they were very comfortable. I felt, obviously, Liverpool had some chances, but nothing really clear cut. And as I say, they could have nicked that game in the end. I think Højlund had the best chance of the game. Didn't score it. We know he's not got a Premier League goal yet, and he needs to tidy up that finishing side of his game. As you said, your concentration has got to be there, whether you're a goalkeeper, a centre half, or a centre forward, because they're key moments. They can change his career at Manchester United so far. Scoring a winning goal at Anfield, it's a big thing to do. So, look, he'd be a little bit disappointed. I think he'd be a little bit disappointed with his all-round performance. But as far as character was shown today, you have to be very pleased with it. You have to be, because they have got a lot of players missing. As I said, I felt throughout the game they were very comfortable.
Yeah, in a good run of form. Manchester United fans will think, yeah, that's okay, it's acceptable. We'd want more of the ball, we'd want to have more chances. But I think when you consider what this team has gone through and the disappointments, which has mainly been, what it's been in recent times, then I think you actually view that as a real positive today. A clean sheet at Anfield is, plenty of teams have tried and failed.
No one's done it since January.
Exactly. Now, when you're a good team anyway, when you've got good players, and when you're a team like Manchester United coming to town, it's what you'd expect in many ways. The way they set up, it was a tough midfield to break down, not much creativity. But I think you've got to go away from that being in a positive mood if you're a Manchester United fan, because there hasn't been much in recent times. Something to build on, I guess so, but I'm tired of hearing that, I guess, for a long time now. And the only downside I'd put on it is that that's not the hardest thing in the world to do. I know not many people have, but the hard thing to do is to build a team that can go out and literally keep the ball, take the game away from teams. Build a team like Pep Guardiola, build a team like Mikel Arteta's doing, or Jurgen Klopp, and have an identity and whatever. What Manchester United have done is something, they've achieved something, not conceding a goal, but just to go somewhere and just to defend and hardly to get a chance. Yes, they might have had the best chance, but Manchester United fans will want more, and they will need to build to having more. But it's a positive, as I say, a point at Anfield.
And you have to accept that what was available to the manager today, that was the plan to get something. It's not a long-term plan. For today, let's go to Anfield, let's try and keep a clean sheet, stay in the game and get a result.
Yeah, that was definitely the plan. And I think probably the expectation helped United a little bit, or the lack of expectation helped United a bit, because everyone's thinking it's going to be 2-3. Well, we all thought that before the game, and they stood up to the test really well. He is a very attacking coach, and you've seen in Champions League games this year almost a little bit too attacking, and they've paid for it. They couldn't afford to do that today, and that's just the position they're in. Where they've been this last couple of weeks, obviously going out of the Champions League, a terrible result against Bournemouth at home. That is the kind of thing they had to do. They had the 7-0 loss from last year. Now, can they go on from this? I don't know. I hope so. But with what was available, that was the way he had to play. And the circumstances of where they've been over the last few weeks, they had no choice but to go that way.
I think what I'm trying to get at, Scholes, is this is a very much a one-off. As Steve said, it's almost like a means to an end, this game. You're not going to go and play like that at home to Burnley or at home to, Everton or whoever it might be. And that's the big question, isn't it, I guess? They'll have to do that. They'll have to put on that type of performance maybe 4 or 5 times a year when they go away to the top teams. Yeah. But apart from that, that's not going to get you where you want to be.
No, it's not. That doesn't make you a top team, does it? And as you said, it can be very easy to do that, to go and sit back and sit on the edge of your box. You can be there all day sometimes, can't you, and not concede a goal.
I've said that this season. They've lost at Spurs, lost at Arsenal, lost at Newcastle. So at least they'll be saying today, well, at least we've gone to Anfield.
Well, I thought last year, a lot of very good performances, but I thought they were very naive, and I thought the manager was very naive when they went to places like Anfield, when they went to places like City's ground. And he kept playing the one in midfield and the rest of the time. You can't do that. You can do it against other teams, of course you can. You get away with that when you've got your best players. They will beat most teams. But when you go to these places, it's not easy. Look, you want to play them off the park, you want to score goals, but they're not quite in that position to do that. And so performances away from home in big games, just getting a point, it's a good result sometimes. If you're going for a league title, you've got to make sure you're winning your other games, though, and you're clever enough and you're brave enough to be able to do that. But as Michael said, that's quite an easy thing to do today. The next step is, right, can you go on from that? Can you play an attacking team? Can you pass teams off the park? Can you create chances? Can you score goals?